Hello and welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, November 16th, and I'm your host, Krista McDonald. Last Sunday, the town of Norwood celebrated the national holiday Veterans Day. The celebrations started with a mass at St. Catherine's Church. Then in the afternoon, a parade stepped off at the Balch School and marched up to the town common. There was a big crowd in attendance to listen to all of the speakers. Director of Veterans Services, Ted Mulvihill, kicked off the ceremony.
A couple years ago, an elementary school in Norwood ran a program for their third grade students on the definition, and the title of the essay was, "What is a Veteran?" And they were kind enough to give me a bunch of examples of what the kids had written. And one kid wrote, "A veteran is not the guy that takes care of my dog or cat. He is a guy that wore the uniform and served our nation." So he could also take care of dogs and cats as well. But that is what we're about today. Ladies and gentlemen, a day of prayer, a song, recognition and respect to those men and women from Norwood and across our nation who have worn our country's uniform. It is my favorite day of the year. Memorial Day is a little bit more solemn. 4th of July is a great big picnic. But Veterans Day is a day where we get an opportunity to stand amongst our brothers and sisters who have served and thank them. Today we thank them publicly. So if you know one, thank him. Look him in the eye, shake his hand, her hand. Say, "Thank you, I know what you did. You served our nation so that we may enjoy the freedoms we do today as Americans."
Thank you to all those who have served past and present. Your service to this country will never go unnoticed or unappreciated. On Monday, what was a local town bar and grill turned into an Italian trattoria for one night only. Lewis's in Norwood held a reservation-only one-night Italian dining experience in their back room and changed their name to Luigi's. Customers enjoyed exclusive Italian menu items and an ambiance you could find at all your favorite Italian restaurants. Let's head on over to Lewis's, or should I say Luigi's, for more on the event.
I was in New York. My wife and I were just kind of walking around. We popped into a hotel, and they did this. They did it once a week. I'm sorry, they did it once a month. It was a. They called it a pop-up Italian. They had this like super cool goth bar that they converted into an Italian restaurant once a month. So I thought it was kind of cool. So I decided to, give it a shot, try it out. I would say if I was to sit down and eat, I'd eat the ossobuco. The favorite one, like look-wise, it came out was a Cioppino. Looked really good. Went great. A lot smoother than I thought it was going to be. We spaced out enough so we didn't really get killed. But I brought my brother in to help. We used to work together years and years ago, and we haven't really probably the last 12 years. So I brought in some reinforcement to help. Maybe in the late winter, early spring. Maybe thinking bourbon and burgers or something along those lines.
Awesome, we would absolutely come back and show you again. We love Joe, we love Lewis's. Very different from a Lewis burger. Mine was incredible, and now I'm just waiting on my dessert.
Look out for more events like this one in the future. Stay tuned after this break to recap everything that has happened around town last month and for this week's Living Local.
Hi, Travis Farley with the Norwood Recreation Department. We just want to get the word out on our traditional and historic floor hockey program. It's the 48th year this program's been in existence. We're really excited about it. It's only $45. It includes the shirt, mouth guard, goggles, a free 2-week clinic to start the clinic, and a big championship game. So games are on Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. The program starts the last week in November, so please come join floor hockey legend Howard Weinstein in the Norwood Recreation Department on the last week in November for our historical floor hockey program.
Welcome back. Earlier this month, we caught up with Town Manager Tony Mazzucco to get a recap on everything that has happened in Norwood during the past month.
Hello Norwood, this is Town Manager Tony Mazzucco here bringing you some monthly updates. October closed out with a great Halloween. We had a lot of great events in town, including Trunk or Treat at the Rec Center. They raised over $500 for the Norwood Food Pantry as well, so great work to Travis and his team at the Rec Center. Everyone had a safe and fun Halloween. The town of Norwood throughout the month of October and into November, hosted 2 international fellows from Singapore and Thailand. They unfortunately did leave us last week, heading back to Washington, D.C. for a few days before heading on home. They've already called us to tell us that they missed Norwood and that they had a great time here. We had a special town meeting this month. There were some exciting articles on the warrant. We passed a zoning change for the Forbes Hill property and passed an authorization to sell the Forbes Hill property, so the town will be beginning that process shortly. We also passed an article allowing Chief Brooks to stay past the state's mandatory retirement age, so we're very happy that once that goes to the legislature, they will hopefully expeditiously pass it as well, and we'll be keeping Chief Brooks on for quite a while longer. Town meeting also authorized the Light Department to go ahead with construction of their new project on Access Road, which will be the new headquarters for our Light Department. After about 90 years in their current building, we felt it was time for them to have a new headquarters, and we're looking forward to that project starting and getting underway. We had some wonderful Veterans Day ceremonies here in Norwood. Our ceremony was led by Veterans Agent Ted Mulvihill and was attended by Congressman Lynch. It was a great ceremony by all, saying thanks to our veterans on this Veterans Day. We also wished a happy birthday this year to Town Hall, which turns 90 years old this year, so happy birthday, Town Hall. And last but not least, as we go into November, I just want to wish everyone a happy and healthy Thanksgiving to you and your families.
Thanks, Tony. Now let's go take a look at this week's Living Local.
My name is Cheryl Costa, and we're here at Orange Leaf in Norwood on Vanderbilt Ave. We've been here for 5 years. We started with just primarily frozen yogurt. Since then, we've expanded to smoothies, shakes, acai bowls. We also have a few things on the horizon, which we can talk about later. So we started acai bowls about at the beginning of the year, February of last year. And it took off very well. We also serve pitaya bowls with that as well. And basically you just choose which type of bowl you want. You can add fresh fruit, you can add granola, shredded coconut, we have some drizzle on top, peanut butter. We also have hazelnut spread or Nutella, chocolate sauce. Pretty much you can make your own bowl. So coming up in the very near future, we're going to be introducing the candy corner at Orange Leaf. We're going to be selling penny candy. We're also going to introduce hard ice cream from a local ice cream distributor, homemade. And also we're going to be introducing bubble tea. So, I mean, we have a lot of variety here. I think people get a little bit worried about the word frozen yogurt, but our yogurt is made here daily. And it tastes a lot like ice cream, soft serve ice cream. So if you came here and gave it a try, you wouldn't even know you were eating frozen yogurt. It's a self-serve establishment, so you basically make your own cup, make your own ice cream, your sundae, all the toppings you want. We have set price cups. We no longer weigh it here anymore, which a lot of customers preferred over the years. We're very involved with the different schools around here. We do a lot with the PMA at the middle school, which is the Parents Music Association. We do a fundraiser with them 2 times a year. You know, give backs, we're allowed to do a give back here. It's basically a fundraiser. You would come in with a flyer or mention your establishment's name, and any sales from those receipts we give 15% back. We do a lot with the recreation department over the summer. They do a camper of the week. We give them vouchers for free ice creams. We do stuff with the local barber shop where you get a haircut, you get a free beginner's sundae. And just different things like that. We are open year-round. Our hours are Sunday 12 to 8, Monday through Thursday we're open 12 to 9, and Friday and Saturday we're open 11:30 to 10. We never stop. We also offer Uber Eats now, so you can order from your couch and they will deliver it to your home. You can also call ahead for smoothies and acai bowls. and basically anything if you really wanted to. But and if you'd like to pick it up, we could also do that.
Stay tuned after this break to find out what's happening in your local government.
Hand to McDonough again. He finds a hole to the right, and he's gone. Right. By the time Ortega gets him, he's easily into the end. Murphy is going to hand though to Watson. Doesn't get much though. And he fumbles it. Fumbles it. Number 22. Number 22, Billy Casey, scooped that ball up. Clock ticks down. You can hear the Dedham fans celebrating, and the Dedham Marauders celebrating.
Welcome back to Norwood News. Tuesday was a busy night for town government. 5 different boards met in various locations around town. The Board of Selectmen opened their meeting with a continuance from August regarding the status of the empty Outback Steakhouse, formerly located on Boston Providence Turnpike. Andrew Upton, attorney for Outback, and Dan Newcomb of Liquor License Advisors appeared before the board to give an update on the status of the empty space.
Outback has been closed for some time. The only remaining asset is the liquor license that has a substantial value. As a publicly traded company, Outback has a fiduciary duty to try to sell the license to get money for the shareholders, and they have been trying to do so for some time.
So there's nothing before this body. You're looking to basically continue this tonight until you can complete a deal with Mr. Spiegel. Because we would have to be transferring the license to someone. There's no application for us to transfer to Mr. Spiegel. If he doesn't perform in that 120 days, you're still going to be trying to market that license instead of lose it.
No one has a greater interest than us and Mr. Spiegel than making this succeed. He's got the empty space, we've got the unused license. These are the 2 best possible parties to make use of it.
License hasn't been used since January. We're going to make this over a year of not being used to service the public. And we still don't know that there's anything at the end.
Motion to continue for 120 days.
Motion to continue 120 days made. Any second?
Second.
Seconded. Anything further? Hearing none, we'll put it to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Opposed. 3-2 in favor.
The board also met with Brian McDonough and Jack Tolman of the Norwood High School Athletic Hall of Fame to announce this year's inductions. The NHS Hall of Fame induction will be at 1 p.m. on Saturday, November 24th. Recreation Superintendent Travis Farley brought the board up to speed on the upcoming holiday extravaganza. The extravaganza is hosted in part with Friends of Norwood Center and always brings a crowd, and will also take place on November 24th. The highlight of the evening came towards the end of the meeting when the Board of Selectmen honored Norwood's own Colonial Boys. The Colonial Boys Band turned 65 this year, and in honor of their anniversary, the Selectmen presented them with a proclamation.
Now originally, and Mr. Leiden over here will remember, originally it was St. Catherine's Fife and Bugle Corps and Drum Corps. And then they dissolved somewhere around 1953 or 2. Hence, the Colonial Boys come into the range in 1953. You have served this town honorably. You've represented the town of Norwood all over the world and all over the country, and if I can name a few of them, you've done parades in New York City, Washington, D.C., Dublin, Ireland, Hawaii, Texas, Florida, and the list goes on and on. So we thought, under the direction of Brian Murphy, that it would be a good thing to show our respect for what you've given the town of Norwood for the last 65 years. You have served the town honorably. You've represented us across the world in a great way. So we've come up with a proclamation, if you could, for citation. The Norwood Colonial Boys Fife and Drum Corps 65th anniversary. The Board of Selectmen, on behalf of all of our citizens, would like to take this opportunity to extend their congratulations and join with your many friends and families in celebrating the 65th anniversary of the Norwood Colonial Boys. You have provided a great source of enjoyment for our entire community. The Colonial Boys have always volunteered to play at all our town events, and many residents have traveled far and wide to see our Colonial Boys perform. The Board of Selectmen are very proud to have this opportunity to commend you and your organization. Your organization is a great source of pride to all of us, and we wish the Colonial Boys many, many years of continued success. Norwood Board of Selectmen, William J. Palaskow, Helen Abdella Donahue, Paul A. Bishop, Alan D. Howard, Thomas F. Maloney, Chairman.
The Board of Selectmen will not meet next week. Their next meeting will be November 27th. The Norwood Trails Subcommittee met in room 24 of Town Hall. After recapping the events that have occurred over the past couple of weeks, including the Progress Norwood Walk and the Jarvis Farms event, Chairman Joe Greeley mentioned to the committee that a potential collaboration between the Norwood and Walpole Trails committees could be in the works for future events.
So there is such an animal as the Walpole Trails Committee. So we're started communicating potential opportunities for us to get together. I did invite we didn't agree on a specific date in January, but Gary Riggett is the chair and he's agreed to come join us at one of the January meetings just to talk about potential. They've got 3 or 4 different trails within town and more to come.
The next meeting for the Trails Subcommittee is scheduled to take place on Tuesday, November 27th. The Library Board of Trustees met in their conference room at the Morrill Memorial Library to discuss a few agenda items before moving into executive session. The Board of Trustees voted to approve amendments to the current Children's Library card registration policy, as well as report on no immediate concerns concerning noise or disruptive behavior in the library. The trustees also announced that fireside reads and beach reads will not be continuing. Therefore, money in the budget will not be allocated for that event moving forward. The trustees, shortly after, moved into executive session. The last meeting on Tuesday night was the Zoning Board of Appeals. The board held a hearing to discuss 3 cases concerning Morse Street, Winter Street, and Walpole Street, as well as Washington Street. Some audience members came to the meeting to provide their questions. The application in the case regarding Winter Street and Walpole Street was withdrawn, and the hearing regarding Washington Street will continue on December 4th, which is the date of the next ZBA meeting. Wednesday evening, the Community Preservation Committee met in room 24 of Town Hall. The committee covered many topics during their 2-hour meeting. Discussion started with the project application review process, then they moved to the status on received projects. At the end of the meeting, former committee member Judith Howard submitted her formal resignation from the board and gave her reasons why.
After it passed by town voters, I was glad to be part of the Community Preservation Committee as representative from the Norwood Historical Commission. I realized so many magnificent and positive things could come to fruition in Norwood. But what happened at town meeting last Thursday, November 8th, I feel the need to resign from my position. Citing financial reasons, town officials, town meeting members, as well as members of the Community Preservation Committee voted to sell the entire site. In my view, their votes lacked forethought and were short-sighted. And as one person said in an email to me, things always look expensive to people when they are about to cough up the dollars, and always look like such a bargain in the rearview mirror. But the cost could have been less than 2 tanks of gas a year to Norwood taxpayers. The town has made many financial mistakes in the past, but this would have been a major investment not only for us now, but for future generations.
The next CPC meeting will be December 12th. On Wednesday afternoon, the Airport Commission met in their conference room at Norwood Airport. There were many in attendance to learn more about the ongoing litigation between the Commission and Boston Executive Helicopter. The meeting started with approval of minutes, then a project update from Dubois and King. Following the project updates, the Commission entered an executive session to discuss the current litigation with Boston Executive Helicopters. To watch complete coverage, tune into the NCM Government Channel or watch it on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Stay tuned after this break to find out what's happening in your schools.
The Norwood Circle of Hope Foundation invites you to help light up the Circle of Hope by purchasing a luminary to be lit on Saturday evening, December 1st, 2018, on the Norwood Town Common from 5 to 7 p.m. Continuing a Norwood tradition begun 17 years ago, the luminaries are a symbol of life, hope, the season, and remembrance of others. Last year, more than 1,900 luminaries were lit on the Town Common. Luminaries can be purchased for $5 each from any foundation board member by calling 781-762-3549 or by mailing your check and messages to the Circle of Hope Foundation, 24 Myrtle Street, Norwood, Massachusetts. For more information or to purchase a luminary, please call 781-762-3549.
Welcome back. Now let's toss it over to our friend Tim Rose to find out what is happening around the Norwood School District.
Hi guys, thanks for joining me for another update on events and activities happening around our Norwood school community. Little Mustangs Preschool Academy partnered with the Norwood Food Service Department for their first annual food drive. Jared Becker, Chartwell's Regional Executive Chef, and Eli Norris, Director of Dining Services for Norwood Schools, stopped by and accepted some donations from students Lily Bartuka, Zoe Kayemba, and Zia Bavzar. The food drive collection will be running until Monday, and collection boxes are located in the front lobby of the Savage Center. Please drop off canned or boxed food items to help restock the shelves at the Norwood Food Pantry. Coakley Middle School students also collected 27 boxes of food for the Norwood Food Pantry. Great job, CMS! If you want to make a donation, look for their bins at the local grocery stores or at the library. Additionally, the pantry accepts donations on Thursday mornings between 8:30 and 9:30 a.m. and Saturday mornings between 8:30 and 11 a.m. Students from the Callahan School wrote thank you letters and cards to Staff Sergeant Joseph Mon, who is currently serving overseas in the military. He is also a firefighter for the town of Norwood and will be returning home in the near future. In addition to writing thank you letters, the school collected non-perishable food items that will be donated to the Norwood Food Pantry. Miss Walsh invited Miss DePillow's 5th graders to help teach her 2nd graders how to log onto and use the Chromebooks. Everyone did a great job working together and had a lot of fun. They're looking forward to the next time they use the Chromebooks. Looks like we now have book buddies and Chromebook buddies. There was a 2-school field trip last week when the entire Callahan School joined the Prescott School for the morning performance of Peter Pan at the Norwood Theater. The students and staff loved the experience. It was exciting to see a former Callahan student up on stage. Nearly 280 students and staff traveled to the historic Norwood Theater to see the fantastic production of Peter Pan. Kids loved this exciting show, which featured a few Norwood Mustang alumni. It reminded us to think positive thoughts and to never grow up. The 3rd grade at the Balch School recently visited Plymouth Plantation and the Wampanoag Village. The children were able to ask a variety of questions to learn more about the daily lives of the Pilgrims and the Wampanoags. They were also able to help the Pilgrims as they performed their daily activities. Students had a great time traveling back to the 17th century. In honor of Veterans Day, the Cleveland School Student Council organized a collection of toiletries and necessities for the VA hospital in West Roxbury. The boxes in the Cleveland lobby were overflowing with donations. The Siemens Foundation brought a day of STEM to the Cleveland 5th grade. The hands-on program featured activities relating to the water cycle, filters, tornadoes, and thermometers. The 5th grade scientists were each given a lab coat and goggles to help with their explorations. The NHS Boosters held their Fall Athletic Awards on Wednesday. The night began with remarks from Principal Dr. Hugh Galligan and Boosters President Paul Forrest. Athletic Director John Longley hosted the night, which included highlight videos, speeches, and individual awards. Tune in to NCM to see the whole night in its entirety. Well, that's it for school news. For more information around the district, please check the website, Facebook, and watch Norwood Community Media. As always, thanks so much for your continued support of our school community. Now let's go to Brian Dunn with the latest sports news.
Thanks, Tim. It was a hard-fought battle at Murray Field last weekend, but the Mustangs fell to Milford by a final score of 27-23. The team now gears up for a Thanksgiving Day showdown against Dedham on Thursday, November 22nd. As a reminder, NCM will be going live with a special edition of Sports Extra pregame show starting at 9 with kickoff scheduled for 10 a.m. Fall Sports Awards night was held on Wednesday, November 14th. Congratulations to all the fall sports athletes and award winners on a great season. Another congratulations goes out to both Connor Miller and Bryn Garzinski, who recently signed their NLIs, or National Letters of Intent, to continue their careers in the NCAA. Connor will be swimming at the University of Miami in Ohio, and Bryn will be playing softball at Southern New Hampshire University. We both look forward to hearing about your success in the NCAA soon. Speaking of NCAA, I don't know if you heard this, but Casey Smith is still unbelievable at field hockey. She is the second player ever to be a 3-time NE10 Player of the Year, the second to earn a 4th All-NE10 team honor in program history, and the 3rd all-time to earn 3 first-team honors. Congratulations once again to Casey. And a reminder that winter sports are right around the corner, starting the Monday after Thanksgiving. Stay tuned to Norwood Community Media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to hear about when live winter sports are happening. That's all for sports. Now back to the desk.
Welcome back to Norwood News. It was a special day for 4 veterans as Memorial Hall and Town Hall held the Norfolk County Treatment Court's graduation ceremony. It was attended by many, including Norwood Director of Veteran Services, Ted Mulvihill. Let's go down to Town Hall, where Ted has a few words about the program.
Hi friends, this is Ted Mulvihill from the Town of Norwood Department of Veteran Services. At the conclusion of a wonderful ceremony today, today was graduation day for 5 veterans at the Norfolk County Veterans Treatment Court system. This is a very important project for our veterans who are suffering from PTSD and other forms of illness, which provides an alternative to jail time. So literally what this program does is save veterans' lives. And it's so important. It's a model program here in Massachusetts. We started here in Norfolk County, and it spread to other court systems around the state. So we're very fortunate to be the leader statewide in this court treatment system, and providing services that ordinarily would not be available to veterans, and they can end up in a bad place in terms of their involvement with law enforcement. So a great program, full of honor. And again, it's all about saving veterans' lives. And as you know, in our business, that's what we try and do. And because they certainly have earned it, they sacrifice and serve so that we can enjoy our freedoms. And if they need a break, they get one in the treatment court, and they earn their sobriety, and they earn their road to recovery.
Thanks, Teddy. On Wednesday, November 7th, Morrill Memorial Library held a women's suffrage presentation from Speaker Barbara Berenson, who is the author of the book Massachusetts and the Women's Suffrage Movement, Revolutionary Reformers. Let's bring it down to Courtney Rao-Rogers, who has more details on the event and the historical background it presents.
I had attended the League of Women Voters Massachusetts State Council last April, and Barbara was one of the keynote speakers at that event. And we loved her talk. I had 2 other members from the Norwood League with me, and we thought her talk was fascinating. And we had been talking about being more visible in the town in terms of public events, just informational, not just doing our typical voter registration drives and candidates forum, but just other historical, political information that we could just draw people in to learn about the league, just learn a little bit, something interesting and fun. And we also thought that the Historical Society would be interesting partners for this event, since it's the period of time that people are associating with the Day House, that turn of the 20th century, you know, and Fred Holland Day and all the work and the people that he had coming to the Day House. He was never really, there's no known that he was involved in the suffrage movement, but the Historical Society loved the idea of this historical movement in Massachusetts and the role that they played during a time that they worked so heavily in. So we partnered together to bring Barbara to Norwood to talk, and the library, Charlotte Kennelly is a league member as well, agreed to host the event, so we got her to come here. We thought it would be great to have it right after Election Day, and since over 100 women were elected to Congress yesterday, even more timely. 100 years ago, we were fighting for the right to vote, and 100 years later, there's over 100 women sitting in the House of Representatives to continue the battle.
Thanks, Courtney. And for more events like this, check the Town of Norwood's website under the Library tab. Norwood's furry friends are asking for your donations this winter. You can help by donating to the Neponset Valley Humane Society right here in Norwood. Donations for cats and dogs are being collected at 7 Hampton Drive. Now let's take a look at some of the upcoming town events. Well, that's all for Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just a reminder, due to Thanksgiving, there will be no Norwood News broadcast next week. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.